Wonderful. This is actually my favorite Protoss matchup by a landslide. It is so much fun, I think. Do you have a preference? Do you have a preferred matchup, Roddy?
Yes, PvZ. I love PvZ.
Oh, true that.
Why? You mean to play or to watch?
To play, I like it to watch as well, quite a bit. Yeah, but
I love watching PvP. I do not enjoy playing it, but I love watching it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I really like playing it. I think it's just so...
Doesn't, and I think getting 4 or 5 kills is more than enough for your first Oracle. I think DnS, if he was paying attention, he could have maybe see that Oracle from SKillous making his way to the other side of the map as well. I mean, it's great that you're dealing damage, obviously, to the mineral lines of SKillous, but you need to survive at home. And I guess with battery overcharge, he will survive. DnS doing a really good job microing in this game. Does finally end up losing his first rocket. Right when I say it, he loses the second one as well.
Yeah, he moved a little bit too close forward as you were praising him, as we can often tend to do, is to curse the players consistently. But now it's gonna be SKillous pushing on forward, though the Void Ray out for DnS will quash the Void Ray of SKillous quickly.
All right,
oh,
this is
big trap though.
This is the chaos that you were talking about. Yeah, that's a proper stasis ward in the main base, getting 3 probes. That's nice, of course. What a wild opening. I mean, 5 minutes in, we've had Void Rays flying to the other side of the map, both players making one. Now DnS still has a Void Ray alive, and obviously still has his Oracle cruising on the side of overcharge as well on the shield battery.
Yeah, and it wouldn't much matter because both +1 attacks are kind of synced. But I'm not sure if SKillous should be so confident that that's the case. So I would have liked to see him still wait for his +1 before maybe even poking at this point. Yet still, I mean, this game is anyone's. It seems like it's fairly even.
Yeah, but it's kind of bad for SKillous that he doesn't have a robo. Like, I'd be very terrified not having a robo, and that's why he's getting cannons as well. At this point, SKillous is going to build a robo. It's going to take a little while. He's looking for an opening. I don't think you get much here. And SKillous agrees. He gets 1 probe, and he's like, well, more than I expected. I'm out of here.
Yeah. I guess he could have caught like a unit in transition. I mean, he did catch a unit in transition, but that's all he'll get. Now, what is the transition for the...
I think this is shaping up to be a really fun PvP. What I wonder about right now is somebody going to go double robo with the robo bay, and are we going to see Disruptors? Will somebody play Colossus? Like, Colossus are good if your opponent doesn't have Disruptors. But if your opponent does have Disruptors, then I don't think you want to go Colossi. Now, SKillous is a master of just running around with Blink Stalkers, Zealots, and DTs. He can be so annoying and gave us a couple of great games at, I think, Dreamhack Masters fall. So there is a chance that he won't tech up and DnS will tech up, and that's going to be really fun for us.
All right, so we'll see that tug of war coming into play most likely as the game progresses. DnS has dropped a second robo and is going for that robotics bay transition, whereas SKillous is going for the Dark Shrine. So both players more or less playing their parts. We'll see if SKillous... It's going to be on SKillous to find something, right, Roddy? If DnS continues to scale up and gets a more complex army, then head-on fight is not something that SKillous will ever be able to take.
Yep, and this is the stuff he's looking for. DnS not canceling the Nexus. I find that really odd. I mean, I know he was busy killing a pylon, but how much attention can that really take? Apparently enough for him not to cancel the Nexus. He's going to rebuild it immediately. He's feeling confident that he can win this fight, even though he's down an upgrade. And the Zealous is kind of running in one by one, dying one by one. I gotta say, the last 30 seconds in this game were excellent for SKillous.
Most definitely, and I love charge slots against Blink Stalkers. I think that DnS has the right idea, but SKillous so masterful just abusing that choke and knowing that he can retreat there, and if his opponent is to chase him, he's just gonna hold his position there, so he gets great trades in spite of having an army that, you know, in a straight-up fight wouldn't fare as well.
Yep. DnS, he's just avoiding the fight, and you're going for base trades, and that's exactly what SKillous is going to do here. He has Dark Templars killing the fort base, while the Stalkers are going to take down this one. I would say kill that Robo as well. It's always nice to kill a Robo, especially if you can kill both Robos. Oh, that Disruptor could fire, but no, it doesn't. Well, Cats, this game is going to go nuts as well.
Yes, indeed. Again, the stronger army potentially on the side of DnS. So we're heading towards a base trade. I think SKillous is going to make quicker work of the economy of DnS. Already, SKillous anticipating that he's going to have to evacuate has taken a few probes to the corner of the map. What's up, Roddy?
Why didn't he kill that Observer? He had like a minute to kill the Observer. Like, when it's base trade time, I always look at the amount of Observers that are out. And the SKillous did finally take out that Observer, and that means there's only one Observer left for DnS. which, I mean, obviously, you know, you could say that maybe disruptors can kill DTs, even if you can't see them. But with only a single ops, don't fly your observer into a cannon. Oh my god. Okay, he has to be so careful.
Yes, indeed. I mean, there is the lifeline for DNS. He has to really safeguard it with his life, and there's DTs out on the side of SKillous already. He has revealed them, but I don't think it matters at this point. It's not like DNS can just crank out more observers as a result.
Okay, DNS is just gonna lose all his buildings. Like, he doesn't have any probes on the other side of the map, and unless I'm blind, I don't see... No, he's got nothing. He's got no probes. He's gonna lose all the buildings. This game is just going to end without a fight. That's it.
Oh, well, sad. I know how that plays out. So, so yeah, he should know best and shows it. Now, spawning in the top left-hand side, it's the Russian blue Protoss player for Cascade, SKillous.
In the bottom right side of Death Aura, we're looking at the main base of that other Protoss player, also from Cascade. It is DNS.
Okay. Both players most likely going for the double gateway opening again, judging by the positioning here. Or do you ever see one gate expands with high ground pylons?
Yes.
That shield battery coming up and finishing, I think he's gonna be just fine.
Yep, you should be more than fine. I myself have tried 384 times to out micro a shield battery, and I've never won, cats. I keep trying every single time. I think the best thing you can really do if you want to take a fight like this is to actually just kill the battery. Like, yeah, it's good to see that SKillous suffers from the same ego problem as I have, where you do think you can out micro a battery, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, that thing is going to regenerate not just its shields, but shields for everyone else. So these are not traits that you want to be taking. Though there is a Stalker that's falling low and the shield battery is out of energy. It's a SKillous that has kind of... No! A force field there could have been deadly, I think, on the corner. But oh, instead the sentry's just going to fall.
I mean, a sentry for a Stalker, I'd say that's an all-right trait. I've done a lot worse myself. I've lost all 4 Stalkers, not get a single kill. So, you know. Not too bad, SKillous, and he's obviously keeping DNS a little bit occupied, so there is a chance that DNS makes a little boo-boo macro-wise. This game, it's actually DNS who opens up with a Void Ray, so he doesn't go Oracle first, he just goes Void Ray first. Everybody's loving the Void Rays these days, don't they?
Like the little brother of the Immortal in a certain sense against Stalkers, right? Like, he definitely will stand a better chance than most of anything else that you can make from a Stargate.
Yep. I feel like they're kind of like Goku and Vegeta together against Stalkers. Like the Dream Team. Doesn't really matter how many you have. Now, Archons do become a problem, and obviously I think Storm is incredibly good against people that just sit there and max out on
for SKillous here, but does he need... Oh, look at that Templar Archives already.
Well, I thought you were going to say, does he need 90 probes? And I'm like, well, that's a little much, but... Yeah, I guess he really does want to kind of play like a Zerg. Like, in a way, Zealot Stalker becomes Mudaling Bane against a Terran player, right? Where it's like you just keep throwing units at your opponent eventually. But SKillous is not doing that. He's also building a lot of Stargates. I don't mind having the transition ready, but it is important that he doesn't just try to max out on a similar army, because then he's going to lose the fight because of his ridiculous high amount of probes.
Yes, exactly. His army won't scale nearly as well, and it will be capped. So I was liking the idea of the Templar Archives for potentially the Storm that we were prefacing, but it looks like it's not on SKillous' playbook here. And to be fair, there's also a Disruptor already out on the side of DNS.
Yeah, I think SKillous is going to keep training. Look at this. He's surrounding DNS. I kind of like the way the SKillous is playing this game, man. It's been really smart. It's just like, all right, you can have your 3 bases. This is Legacy of the Void. 10 minutes into the game, there won't be too much left to mine from in your main base. And I also know that in 2-3 minutes from now... Oh, good job there. In 2-3 minutes from now, even your natural isn't that important anymore. So at that point, you know, at best, you're a 2-base Protoss.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that DNS hasn't managed to establish a 4th up until now, because his army has been strong for a very long time. But again, that positioning and the mobility, right? Like, he wants to make sure, look at how safe he is. Oh my god. Okay, so run-bys won't work.
No, I'm gonna have to send a lot of Zealots into that. The thing is, though, if you're 94 probes, The funny thing is you can. Like, you can actually keep warping in Zealots there. Dark Templars with Blink as well. SKillous is already getting a couple of Tempers, so he knows that, you know, the biggest potential problem could be carriers down the line. He's like, you know what, mate, if you just want to sit at home and max out on carriers, I will get Tempers.
And this is absolutely nasty. Look at that amount of shield batteries with Tempests, which can be recalled to that base as soon as they're made. He can start sieging and pulling back to those shield batteries, and there's like more shield batteries than there will be Tempests, essentially. So that's a really cool setup from SKillous here, who is working with a big supply deficit and a much weaker army, especially as the game transpires.
Yeah, DnS has definitely misread this game a little bit, and I'm totally with you when you said he should have been able to establish a fourth base by now. Of course, SKillous is making great plays, and that's the Nova. That's actually not even going to connect. Like, yeah, SKillous is making great plays in keeping DnS on 3 bases, but DnS should have been on 4 bases at this point regardless.
Yeah, quick snipe of a Void Ray there, I believe. So nice moves by SKillous. This base though, this siege that's coming up, DnS is finally smelling it. He thinks there's something. He knows. Oh,
yeah. He saw it with a hallucinated Phoenix, but I would say it's already a little bit too late. You don't want to fight in range of 11 batteries. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's all the sentence we needed. 11 batteries, end of sentence. Because my God, that is a lot of batteries, and the Tempest, of course, is the perfect unit to take an advantage of a setup like this, because it has the longest range in the game, more or less, as far as air units are concerned. So it's looking pretty good for SKillous, who's gonna continue to push on this battery contain towards his opponent as well.
Yep, and I mean, this game is gonna end without a real fight. Like, the army of SKillous is just so good at range. He's gonna be able to reveal it. He's gonna pick units off one by one. I think DnS knows that he has made a grave mistake in this game just by misreading it, over-investing in static defenses he didn't actually need, and not having a proper read on the situation. Like, right now, this is going to continue for a couple minutes, and SKillous is just eventually going to kill the entire army without losing too many units.
Yeah, I think if you're DnS, as much as you might hate it, I think you have to kind of move in and try to dislodge that position, right? And try to kill the batteries, because otherwise you're just taking damage for free endlessly.
I think I would start trading out a couple of my send your Immortals to the other side of the map with something. Like, they're not very important. I think you need to make something, because you need to free up more army supply for your own Tempest. So DnS is going to kind of take a fight here, and this is not a bad fight at all, because he's going to take down all the Stalkers. SKillous seems to be okay with it, because he's even getting the new fancy Tempest upgrade. So we're going to see orange shots. Beautiful.
Oh, nasty. And yeah, this is looking good. There is 5 Tempests on one side being produced at a time, whereas 4 are being produced on the side of DnS. And that's kind of what he's waiting for, is to try to catch back up on the Tempest count. That's not going to happen at the moment for SKillous. So it's a blessing in disguise, in a certain sense, to have lost those Stalkers, right? Like, because they're so supply inefficient at this point.
This is so nice. He's taking out the assimilator as well. Look how much damage they're dealing to a Nexus with the upgrade. I have no idea what the upgrade is called, because you just don't see it very often, but it does give the Tempest, like, I believe 40 or even 60 bonus damage against buildings, and that's when the shot turns orange.
Yeah, I think it's 40. I think it doubles their damage. So yeah, it's pretty nifty. It's good against Zerg as well to dislodge those spores and spines when they are very entrenched, but we are seeing it to great use, and the plan from SKillous coming together from beginning to end, right? Like, it's a masterclass of this style of play.
Absolutely. I can do nothing other than tip
up until this point, and I'm not sure how DnS is gonna start, flipping things around.
Well, DnS might win a fight. The problem is DnS doesn't need to win a fight. DnS needs to win 3 fights in a row with the same army. And I just don't think that's gonna happen. Good target fire here by SKillous, as he takes out a couple of the carriers, takes out a couple of the Void Rays as well. And obviously SKillous can build Tempest for days. DnS is gonna run out of steam eventually.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit to realize, but he's not going to be able to remax like you were pointing out to.
I love it.
SKillous has more production, more money, more everything, even making efficient use of a time warp. Whoever sees that, Roddy?
I thought he was splitting up his Tempest shots. He is definitely overkilling the Tempest a little bit at this point, but maybe he's like, you know what, I'd rather be safe than sorry, because I know shield batteries are nearby, so I don't want to spread out my damage. SKillous is taking a little bit of damage at home, as DnS did finally send a couple of those Immortals. And we're not going to have it. I gotta say, this is a very good fight. Great target fire by DnS. SKillous getting a little bit sloppy, but Yeah, he can be sloppy for a very long time before he ever loses this game.
Yeah, that really seems to be the case here. Armor upgrades is also coming online. There is a mothership coming for the side of SKillous yet again. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, DnS is already at 150 supply, and he can't really go past like 170 or 160 spending all of his money. Not even, yeah, it seems like he's just stuck at 150 right now. Whereas SKillous can remax like a couple of times. So, it's going to be increasingly harder for DnS to trade effectively or efficiently at all. SKillous is just going to run around and capitalize on his advantage.
Yep, SKillous knows that he can split up an army, and DnS is going to have a much tougher time doing so. Every Tempest that DnS loses is one that's very hard to replace. Meanwhile, SKillous just throwing away units left and right. He has unpowered a couple of the Stargates in the main base as well with the Stalker run by, and I think DnS is not sure. He's like, if I defend my main, I lose my fort base, but if I lose the fort base, I lose the game. But I also don't want to lose my entire main, so yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I gotta say, one thing that I love about the way that SKillous played this series is also that he seems to be taking into account the series in itself, right? Like the first game, for example, we were talking about what can DnS do differently when you have a much stronger army. And one of the things that we came to was that static defense, right? Drop some static defense before moving out. Now, he definitely overdid it, but it's also to SKillous' credit because he was hiding an expansion, which he didn't do last game, for example, right? He was ready for DnS to be maybe a little bit turtlier, for him to not move out as quickly as he did. And that's just playing off of the information that he fed his opponent in the previous game, which I absolutely love.
I mean, of course, when you go for the super heavy Void Ray style, you're going for like the most immobile Protoss army there is. It's basically Protoss mech at that point, because there are no gateways, there is no mobility at all. SKillous knows that he can take a couple of reckless fights right now in range of these cannons, in range of these batteries, as he is just kind of beating down DnS one by one. We've got a lot of Dark Templars in the natural too. It's been a beautiful game by SKillous, a beautiful series. What a fantastic way